In the upper right side of the map, in the gold, folks. Took down dark to get here. It's Solar. And the bottom left, in the purple, the victor over Raynors, Terran, and Zerg. It's Byun. And that is no mean feat. Taking down Raynors Protoss, which of course is very good, but maybe not quite to the same level. And then shoving Raynors face in on Data C map 3. And by the way, folks, you know, I am so happy to see ZVT, TVZ, whatever you want to call it, that is not defined by 40-minute turtle games the entire time. Like, I was really worried that was the way the meta was going when we saw Maru do it, and it's like, okay, if Maru's the only one that does that, that's fine. Then we saw Gumiho do it to beat Serral at Home Story Cup. We've just seen all these Cure and Byun both played marathon 2-hour series, best of fives in EPT. In EPT Korea and North America 133, I think. It was EPT Korea and North America. I think it was 133. I was like, okay, is this the way the meta is going? Because this feels bad. Like, sometimes you have cool games, but it's like 20 minutes of nothing before the game gets exciting, and that's not really all that fun. But Terrans are starting to find other ways to get aggressive, and that's great. Like, the TVZ is good when it is back and forth, it is aggressive, it is relentless Terran aggression, and Zerg holding on by the skin of their teeth and expanding and surviving. So I'm very glad to see it, is what I'm saying. Maru played a great series against Solar, actually. Yeah, Maru played a great series against Solar and TSL when Solar got knocked out. But honestly, Solar looked very good. It was a series that Maru won. I believe it was a 2-0, but Solar looked very good in that series. So, you know, sometimes you have 2-1s that are super one-sided, and sometimes you have 2-0s that are rather close. And this was much more the latter. So Solar going for a delayed clash or a modified clash opener in this game number 1. Tropical Sacrifice is, of course, a rather large map, so you can get away with 4-minute speed instead of a 3:30 speed. And beyond first part, well, I didn't quite see the gas timings, but it looks like he's got drop pressure on the mine. He did this to Raynor too, or he tried to do it, didn't work. But we've been seeing him do this more and more to Zergs, where he says, you know, I'm gonna have some Marines, I'm gonna have some Hellions, and this may be a Hellbat timing. All right, we're gonna have to see whether he does drop. I didn't pay enough attention to the opener, but there's a very real possibility where this is gonna be an armory going down behind this, and then it is somewhere on the order of 6 to 8 Hellbats and 5 Marines joining in. And then it's like, these Hellbat timings have actually been rather successful as of late. Normally, especially if you want to quote Artosis, Hellbat timings are horrible. But the addition of the Marines and the timing they hit seems to be fine, but no. It's going to be a Raven behind this, so it will truly be, it looks like a 4 Hellion drop. Or actually, no, is that the drop on the north side? There it is. So 7 Marines in the drop, looking to maybe knock down an Overlord, that'd be nice. Really find whatever they can. But the Raven behind this, so there's going to be Raven Hellion behind this. And that's actually something Maru has been really experimenting with. We saw him do it to Solar twice. And it did a great job of knocking down the creep spread, while keeping the creep spread rather contained, which is one of the reasons why Terrans have not really been able to push too hard. One of which is just how many queens Zergs are getting. They're starting to... I mean, people have been complaining about how strong queens are for a while, but it feels like every time we see that, we just see, oh, okay, we're going to see that auto turret's going to knock down the Overlord. Not before, it's not going to see all that much. But it feels like every time we see that complaint, the Zergs learn how to abuse queens even more, and it's like, well, I thought they were too strong beforehand, and then Zergs figured out how to make them even better. Great. I'm starting to think that we should have a cap of queens per hatch. Which is maybe not the best kind of like from a pure game design situation because it's not super intuitive, but if we had a world where you could say each hatch can only support 2 queens, so like if you lose a queen, you can rebuild it, but you can only have 2 queen total. If you have 4 hatch, you can only have 8 queens, something like that. That actually seems fair because 6 queens, that's enough to get good creep spread. That's enough to get yourself injecting, but it's not like 14 queens that really that are just these really terrifying, or even 9 queens, which shut down all forms of Terran aggression. So I don't know, that strikes me as maybe the way we need to go. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not a designer. Anyway, 1-1 on the way here from Solar, and Byun leaning into his aggression once again. It's only +1 attack, no third base. We're on 5 barracks. Byun he's been really grinding these 2 base all-ins, or these, yeah, we're gonna call it 2 base all-in. He's been really grinding these different variants of 2 base all-ins. Certainly against Raynor. Now I don't know if I feel like he's been doing it against other. Yeah, no, he did it to Dark in a game that he won as well. So he thinks there's something here. Now part of it may of course be that Tribal Sacrifice is actually a really good map for it, because you can wedge yourself up between the rocks right here and then get tank sieged up, and it's impossible for Zerg to take the fight. We gotta point out though, he's doing a great job of really minimizing the damage on the Raven, which of course makes it a lot easier for him to do more later on. His Ling's looking for a run by here. Byun, he let the damn wall down, and that's gonna be a problem. Not a lot here, so Byun's gonna be forced to pull his entire army home. Raynor, or Solar, excuse me, gets a fantastic scout. He's gonna say, oh well, those look like 2 additional barracks, so it's a 5 racks all in. Byun, gotcha, thank you. He's not gonna build any more drones from this point. He's not going to 74, not making the mistakes that his teammate made in the semifinals. And now 9 workers will fall. So Byun, I mean, he was all in, but he's now a double plus ultra all in. Okay. Byun onto the other side of the map, and he's not even in a situation where he's got like a big army supply lead, something that he would. There is really nothing to recommend Byun in this game right now. He's up about 10 army supply, but 10 army supply does not really. Okay, there's one thing. Mainly speed is not yet done, so that does maybe make something happen here. As he will knock a queen down, and we got the run by attempted once again, but this time the wall's up. Byun said, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. And he will not fool me twice, won't be fooled again, I guess. But on the high ground, Byun will go. This is still a terrifying position for these tanks to take. So the 4th base should just go down as Solar gets ready for the bust. 1 Lings goes forward to eat the tank shot, but they're not quite synced up well enough. So the 4th base is dead. Now that's level 1 of what Byun wants. He wants a lot more though. He needs a lot more. Bailey speed's now done. It's gonna be a lot easier for Solar to take this fight. He's setting up a bit of surround, and he's locked a solid percentage of Byun's army into Byun's side of the map. But now auto turret wall does get dropped here just a little bit, just trying to buy time for these tanks to get shots off. How is the target fire with the tanks? Bailey's actually, a lot of them are going to go down. Byun targeting, firing so many of these Bailings down here. Auto turret getting even more. The army is so low, but Byun, from about 10 army supply down, he's 30 army supply up. That was a brilliant fight from him. Now, he did lose all his tanks. At least all his tanks that he had on the other side of the map, but he has 2. 3rd one is going to be on the way, and now he's got to rotate bottom side. And he's doing a great job with this Raven. Is just really providing him so much utility in terms of denying creep, making it so hard for Solar to A, see what's happening, B, take these engages. You need creep. You need to be able to get those surrounds. So Byun now does have his 3rd base on the way. Drop on, going north side. It's going to see the trailing edge of these heli, or the trailing edge of these Lings, and Byun, he raised the wall. Tank gets shot off. That's nice. On the bottom side, Byun will go, and that 30 army supply lead has been reduced now to a 10 army supply lead, and even more importantly, this is not nearly as scary of a position for Solar to fight into. Yeah, the rocks there, they make it a little hard for him to do a quick and easy surround, but even still, you can find your way elsewhere. As Lings, they're going to find this in the main base. We're going to see Spore go down to start, and Byun can be forced to pick this up eventually, but he did force a lot of Lings into the main base. So that means that the army of Byun is going to be able to run forward once again. I think this is another dead 4th base. Solar kind of trapped on his 3 bases right now. He's got another 4th, the pocket 4th that he made earlier. And importantly, Byun is not really killing workers. He's just killing bases. But even still, this is a larva problem right now. Solar, he's got larva, sure, but it's only 3 hatch larva. So it's good for him that he's moving into hydras. He's moving into things that are slightly more supply efficient. Or supply inefficient, I guess. That do take more supply, more bang for their buck. So now we're going to see Lings run forward. Tanks here in a really nice situation as the Raven runs backwards. Looks like 1 tank will go down, but good target fire from Byun. That's going to get a lot of Lings, and he rallies forward. 1-1 or +1 carapace or +1 armor is going to be done soon enough, but this is Solar's on 2-2. I mean, this army is a lot. The Hydra doesn't die. None of him missed target fire there, I think, but still, Hydra does not die is just kind of representative of how strong this army from Solar is right now. And by the way, there's no armory. so there will be no 2-2 for quite a while. Armor gets dropped now as Byun does have the third base up, but he doesn't really feel safe enough to take it right now. So as good as this has been, where Byun has been able to find value, has been able to knock a fourth base down, this is still a 4-base Zerg. Still a 4-base Zerg with 2-2. Byun, I think we're going to see Byun maxed out on 2 bases. Well, I guess he's got his third base now, but his next big time is going to be when he does get that third base up. In the main base, though, more drops. Really, the whole point, it's forcing Solar back. It's forcing Solar to react. And if Solar does not react properly, yeah, sure, Byun's going to be able to find value. But how rare is it that the Hive is going to get started before before a Terran's 2-2 gets started? Like, that's just not a thing. But okay, 2-2 on the way now, and I guess not quite that. The Hive is not going to get started before 2-2, but it's pretty close. As now Solar, he's got his 5th base on the way. Finally feels secure in this 4-base setup as he is maxed out. It's 131 army supply. We got to point out his worker count is not incredible. He's only on 67 drones because he's been really dealing with the harassment of Byun and just the sheer unrelenting pressure of Byun for quite a while now. He's really cut drones for this, which means his army is big, but he's not quite going to have the ability to bank and reinforce the way he would like. And Byun is on 3 bases. Now, 3 bases is not incredible, but it is triple mill. It's triple orbital. It's as long as Solar is only on 4 bases, does not really have that 5th mining, and is only on 61 workers. Yeah, Byun's economy is actually fairly decent for this stage in the game. We saw it dip in Byun's favor just slightly a minute ago. But if we look at resource loss as well, I mean, Byun has been trading pretty well with these pushes, honestly. Like, with how scary it looked, I mean, the upgrade deficit, certainly. It felt like Byun was not going to be able to trade all that well, but he started to find some really good fights knocking those bases down. And now he's just about maxed out on 58 workers, so he's almost at 60 workers. Again, his worker count is not terrible. And Solar is starting to mine out on some of these, some of the core bases. So triple drop, into the main base. You're going to find as much as he can. He's going to target fire the Hive. I don't think you get this, Byun, but nice idea. Actually, there are no Baileys here. You know, he's going to get it. There's just not enough queens. Bailings, target fire. They're going to arrive. And the Hive, does survive that one clutch transfuse. The queen had just barely enough energy. But that means this is a somewhat weak Hive. In the minutes going forward, as we see the Byun hovering over the Ewok stand. The uncopyrighted bear creatures with hats. Dancing in the middle of the map here as Ling's Banes come rolling forward. I mean, you cannot engage into this position. Byun is maxed out. He's got 2-2. 3-3. Well, he's got 2-2 in a second. But he's going to have 3-3 getting started soon enough. And he's got a 45-second window. He's got more than that, actually, where he will be equal on upgrades. He's 140 army supply. Like, this army of Byun is scary. And he started to build a bank. Now, it's not an incredible one, certainly. And his 4th base is not on position. But if he's able to slow push across the map, really start to abuse the jokes here, this army from Solar absolutely can fight. This run by is not going to find the value at once. Adrenal glands are not done. 3-3 is not done, so Byun, his army is just better there. Pure Ling versus Marine with medevac. Yeah, it's not really a thought. And Solar, though, he's going on Ultra Cavern, and I kind of like that this game, actually, even though he did commit to Hydras in the mid game, where we know Byun is on 2-2. His 3-3 is going to be rather delayed, and more importantly, this is only a 3-base Terran, 4th base right now, which does mean that Ghosts are going to be tremendously delayed. So here we go. Solar setting himself up for a big flank. Vipers looking to knock down everything. Yeah, there we go. Good blinding clouds on top of 3 of the tanks. The 2 tanks on the backside, they do not really matter here. Byun micros backward, but a lot of his Marines tank the shots, but blinding clouds now, they're over. Even still, the Ling's on top of things. Byun forced to run away. He does not have importance to pick up everything, but he will. Okay, so it's going to be a dead Hellbat. It's going to be a little bit of lag there. Fine. It's going to be dead Hellbat. It's going to be well, most importantly, the tanks are dead, and now Solar, he remaxes instantly, finding his way on the other side of the map. But tanks and Liberators are here defensively. Byun's got to be careful, though. Those Marines on the right side, they're spooky. Three halfway done here for Byun, plus 2 mech attack as well as a Liberator. Yeah, Liberator getting a decent amount of damage, 5 kills, and we saw, well, this random Ling run by is going to find its way on the bottom side, but it is very, very low. Byun has Massively overstimmed that one, but still 13 workers go down. Remember, Solar's drone count has not been good this entire game. He's on 61. So this is not your standard rich as hell Zerg. Oh, the hive went. Wait, did Solar kill that? Yeah, I think Solar. I think Solar killed his hive with his vipers. I guess the Viper suck does not really show, or Viper does not show whether it has a kill or not. But beyond, look, his Ghost Academy is done now. His 3-3 almost done. Now there's a timing that Solar is going to be able to hit before Ghosts are out, before 3-3 is done, where he has a lot of Ultras and Byun just does not have the army to defend. But there are a lot of Liberators and a lot of tanks here. It's hard. The Ultras get on top of things. And one of them just goes down immediately. But Byun micring backwards. He wants to stay away from the Banes. He can fight the Lings all he wants. Good abduct, though. Another tank into the midst of things. Lings and Banes, they come rallying in. Storming into the natural here. Solar says, this is my opportunity. Byun, you're all in. Has not worked out. But Baneling's on the high ground. Target fire from Byun. Continues to find value. He's got a micro backwards, though. Good splits. Banelings, they're all dead. Only 5 SCVs have died thus far. But even still, Solar remaxes instantly. Well, almost remaxes. He's on 170 supply to 108 from Byun. Ultra in the natural is just not really going to be dealt with all that easily. There's a ghost out, though. That's going to be fine. Byun, his 3-3 is done, but 23 SCVs have died. This is the true value. This is the true prize that Solar has been looking for. And behind this, he's expanded everywhere. His hive, yeah, sure, he doesn't have it. But he still has those Vipers, which is really all he cares about. He has Adrenal. He has... Wait, did he kill his... He killed his... Oh, okay, so Byun, I guess, killed the spawning pool. So this drop on the high ground is going to get this hatchery once again in the infestation pit and the Hydra Den. All these wonderful, wonderful things. But Byun is being a little fancy, but there we go. Okay, that's going to go down. Abduct means the empty medevac will die, but the full medevac looks like it will be able to escape. But Hive just about done once again for Solar. He is on, what is that, 6 bases, 62 workers, which again, not incredible, but Byun is only on 4 bases, 42 SCVs. And more importantly, his mana and his natural are just like totally mined out. And what a game one we've had. I mean, yes, this is a game that is running long. I mean, we're 20 minutes in, but this is not a, oh, well, I guess I can't break you, so I'm going to sit back, sit on my butt for 20 minutes and do that. No, Byun has been trying to break Solar for forever, and Solar has been bending and almost breaking, but not quite. And behind that, he's been expanding well enough. He's been getting his upgrades. And now he's built an army that, even with Ghosts, I don't know that Byun can really beat. Byun only has 4 Ghosts on the map. If this was like 13, 14 Ghosts, maybe. With 4 Ghosts, I mean, that just does not feel like enough. But we're going to have to see how well Byun can turtle. And he finds a little value on the other side of the map, knocking down a bunch of these SCVs, but he will lose the Marines and the medevac. Medevac is actually really the important thing right now. Byun is really gas-starved here. He's mining more than Solar is, sure, but, I mean, look at that gas count. It's not great. 3 Ghosts on the way at a time, though, and again, if you get up to like 20 Ghosts, things change. Things change drastically. The Terran army becomes nigh unstoppable. At least very difficult to deal with if you have the Ghost control of a Byun or a Maru. But it's been a while now since Byun has really been able to, I mean, yeah, he gets drones here or there, and in fact, he's killed 37, well, only 37 drones this game, actually. Yeah, he's been able to be active on the map a little bit and run by and get 8 workers there, 6 workers there. But at this stage of the game, when Solar is on this many hatcheries, when he's on, what, 4, let me count, 6, 8, when he's on 8 hatch, 8 bases. Not necessarily mining out of all of them. As a Ghost get an Ultra, that's nice. Unless you're killing like 30 workers, it doesn't really matter. Solar's got a bank and he's got, well, so much larva. But again, the bigger point about this push, or this drop from Byun, I got a couple drones, that's nice, is to keep Solar off his back. Is to keep Solar from killing him as Byun attempts slowly to max out. In fact, it is not often you see this with the Terran, but Byun is gas starved. He has 1,500 minerals in the bank, but he just does not have the gas he needs to really make this happen. His EMP's not really going to get the Vipers just yet. Good snipes down on Ultras. 1 will fall. Everything runs behind, but there we go. Blinding Clouds on top of all of these tanks. Ghost microing backwards, doing what they can. Banelings, though, they're going to get on top of them all, and the Ghost, they cloak up, but it does not matter. Splash damage, uber allest. And yeah, snipes of the secondary level of Ghost, they're going to be nice, but looks like actually the Ghost took damage anyways. And snipes on the Hydras. Yeah, sure, it doesn't really matter. The Ghosts, they're doing what they can, but Byun now below 100 supply, below 80 supply briefly. And that's going to be it. Solar takes the most excellent game number 1. In the bottom left, in the gold, he's up 1. He's looking really refreshed here. It's Solar. In the upper right, in the purple, the question mark, it's Byun. Although I guess I should have introduced him in the middle of the map, because he's gone for 2 racks on Waterfall, and Solar scouts it immediately. It's one of those, you'll never expect me to be right in the middle of the map, won't you? Yeah, it's not going to happen. By the way, this was an attempt at 3 racks. We saw 3 SCVs get pulled. Which does mean that the 2 racks will get up probably as 1 SCV. Wait, one SCV goes down. Second the micro there. Second SCV goes down. Yeah, this is shades of Byun versus Dark from a while ago, where 1 Marine's gonna pop out. I mean, the drones are just gonna kill this. Oh, he gets a drone. Actually, you know, but considering how much of a disaster this is not horrible. We had a series. I did a series. Grand finals of Byun versus Dark. Grand finals of EPT. It was in the 120s. I forget which one. Byun went 2 racks 3 games in a row, proxied. Dark scouted it 3 games in a row, and the series was a grand total like 9 minutes in game. Funnily enough, it's like one of my most viewed series on YouTube. Or at least it was. I mean, of course, the highlight videos get a lot more, but in terms of casts, one of my most viewed videos on YouTube, which I think is hilarious because it's like 9 minutes. But I guess because people kind of watch it all the way through, their algorithm picked it up and was happy about it. But now, Byun making the best of a real bad situation. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get much of anything. He's going to build a Reaper out of that, and it's effectively a proxy Reaper. Well, it means the Reaper shows up maybe a little bit earlier than expected, but because because the barracks was so delayed and he got a Marine out of it as well, it's still right around the same timing. So Solar, 4 minutes speed. That's fine. And actually, Solar feels a little bit reticent. He didn't quite have enough money in the bank to make sure he could actually take the triangular third. But now he is. As the queen pushed forward, he's going to be able to take the third anyways. And you really do want to take that third. Yeah, it's a little bit further close to the Terran base, which is awkward. Feels bad. But because you don't have that ramp in the front that kind of Terran has to aggress from the side, it actually is a little bit easier to defend than the linear third, because there's some scary tank positions and it's just a more direct push. It's still hard. I mean, this is still not a good Zerg map, but still, it's playable. In fact, Solar thinks that this map is good for Zerg, which is kind of interesting. If you paid attention to the interviews at Valencia, he was saying that he didn't understand why people didn't like it so much. He actually really did like it, and there's a reason he lets it through in the bans almost every time. And I think this is because it's so easy to flip the map. Like, we see a lot of Terrans go for these 2 base timings, although Byun's not doing that. He's got 3rd CC very quickly. But we see the Terrans going for these 2 base timings, this heavy aggression, and if you beat one army, you're just immediately into the Terran side of the map, and you're knocking down their 3rd base, and it becomes rather complicated. They never recover. Which is what I'm assuming is that the Reaper on the high ground is just dead. Which is what I'm assuming is the Solar's idea there. Sometimes you have short maps and like, okay, the Terran aggression is just really, really strong. But because of how a Terran, I guess, has to set up around the 3rd base, it's a little bit easier to maybe break out and maybe make some run-bys happen. I mean, we've seen a lot of like 1-1, almost like main all-ins in games on this map. As we just hear listen to minutes of Bayo trying to justify why this map is maybe not as bad for Zerg as I think it is. Or maybe try to understand why Solar thinks it's good for Zerg. But anyway, Bailey Nest on the way before upgrades. So Solar is aware of the possibility that Byun is going to do something a little bit cheeky, a little bit sneaky. So you get the Bailey Nest quickly. It's 50 gas. It's not really the end of the world. And Byun, by keeping his Hellions back here, it's got some it is making Solar just a little bit scared. Normally, if you were going to go, say, 3CC Hellion play, you move out with your Hellions. You try to diminish creep spread as well as you can. You make it hard. And behind that, of course, you're going up to the rebase, but you keep the Zerg back by Hellion aggression, by representing threat on the map. But Byun is not doing that. He's got 1-1 on the way. It's going to be faster than Solar's upgrades, of course, because, again, Evo Chambers were not delayed. This is a fairly standard timing for them, but not as quickly as they could be. And, of course, with Byun's third base done, he's got triple mules. He's got triple SCV production. He is in a pretty nice spot. The other problem with this map, for Zerg, who wants to expand and expand and expand and expand, is that really there are only 6 bases you can take. I mean, I guess there's the there's this base that has a rich gas on it, but I mean that is, or the equivalent on this side, but that is really hard to take. So this is actually a map that is very good for the Maru style, which seems weird because normally you would think, the big map, we can turtle it out. But because there are so few bases on the map, and if you're going that just turtle ghost mech style, you really do need about like 30 broods and really good caster control. Well, it feels like 6 bases, especially as, if you're doing any sort of trading in the mid game, 6 bases just does not represent enough stuff on the map. His Overseer's going to fly and say, oh, well, okay. Good scout. He's going to say, yeah, okay, Byun, you had your third base. I mean, more importantly, he sees the SCV count. But because you're only on 6 bases, right, you do not have the mineral and the gas income to properly afford, A, the Broodlord count, and to be able to replace them and get your infestors that you need and everything. Unless you're just really not trading at all. Which is, of course, a possibility if you play that turtle style. But for now, Byun finally getting active on the map with his bio, right as 1-1 does complete. And this is, man, mainly speed is timed out perfectly with his 1-1 push. Yeah, Solo does not have his 1-1, but it does not matter because Bailing speed is more important than +1 attack and +1 armor for the Terran. Well, +1 attack, +1 armor for the Zerg at the moment. I mean, two different story, but with the 1-1. You just want the Banelings to connect. They still trade very well indeed. And Solar's upgrades are going to complete rather soon as he takes the right side base, moving up to 5 bases. Just keeping ahead of the Terran economy right now. Byun moves in a little forward, tries to knock the creep spread down, and that's another benefit of this map. You can get your creep into your opponent's third very quickly. You can get it into Byun's third base extraordinarily quickly. And that means that run buys are even more effective. But we're starting to see the play style that has me a little worried about TVZ, to be totally honest. I mean, at least it's some really cool late games. But you have some pressure on the map, just a little bit. But really, it's all about turtling up onto the late game, on a Ghost Thor Hellbat, really. So this one drop is not going to get much of anything because Spore and Queen is going to be enough to do with that one. Is on the other side of the map, good target fire from, I guess, actually Widowmine somewhere. I thought there was a tank, but not in range. And now Solar runs forward. Widowmine gets a decent trade, but it does fall. And then main base, that drop has been dealt with, by the way. So Solar does not have to worry about that one, as he's just swinging onto the other side of the map with that 1-1 timing, that 1-1 Ling Banal, and that I was talking about. And he forces Byun away from his third base. Marines get dropped once again. SCVs getting split, but even still, 8 SCVs will fall. Will probably be a little bit more than that one, as there we go, 13 SCVs die. A lot of Byun's army dies as well, and now Solar, he's on 90 drones. So, sorry, not totally a 1-1 all in, but 1-1 timing, really. Solar's on almost 90 drones. He's up 20 army supplies. 2-2's on the way. Timed out pretty closely with the Terran. His hive is just about done. And Byun's going to take a while to recover from this because he is playing such a macro-heavy game. Yeah, his SCV count was great, and he's already back up to 62, but he doesn't have that immediate remax, that really high production that you might want to see. He does have 8 racks now, so he's going to be a little bit better spot, but again, that was problematic for our Terran player. And Solar now, he has every base he can reasonably take. Maybe he gets one of the interior rich gas bases eventually, but for now, every base he can reasonably be expected to take. His hive is done. Ultra Cavern on the way, so he again rolls forward with more Banes, but Byun is more prepared for this time, as we will just see a bunch of Splat Ethos go down, and Banelings into Marauders, not exactly what you want, but a couple more SCVs fall. Not really all that many, though. Big thing, of course, the fact that Byun, he's 150 over 140, pretty heavily supply blocked, and looks like Solar's not going to be able to get too much on the north side, though, so those Lings will be forced to retreat. But the idea of an Ultra Cavern in this game, where you have so much map control, again, your creep spread is the entire map. Not bad. But you've been able to just rather quickly as a... I don't know that Solar wanted to cancel that base. I don't think the army of Byun was all that scary aggressing onto it, but Solar maybe felt he couldn't hold. Because you have really so much of the map here, and you've been able to get to the late game so quickly, you know you're going to be able to get to Ultras before Ghosts are out in the field and earnest. As Bailey's run forward. Ooh, nice connection on the backside. Widowmine looking for that connection, but just going to get targeted on down. And actually, the factory is going to start to burn, so Byun has to micro back further and further and further. And the Lings and the Banes, they still chase up Byun. It's not the easiest situation to Solar. Please kill that top-hatted depot. I mean, that's value right there, but no, it looks like he's going to run backwards, try to maybe kill some more STVs with these Banes, and he's going to get... Okay, he's going to say, that's 5, that's fine. But again, he's on 88 workers. He's okay with these inefficient trades, and honestly, they're not even all that inefficient. 3K in the good for Byun at this game state with how many bases Solar has, how many workers he has. 3K is fine. But Ultras are now on the way behind this. Kindness plating is close to being done. So these will be 4 armor Ultras, not 5. Of course, not that really nice situation. Ooh, Widowmine gets a really great connection there on some Banes. I did not expect that on the other side of the map. Solar's just swarming here, trying to take trades where he can, take advantage of that economy. But as Byun approaches max out, life becomes a little bit scary. But that being said, Ling Bane is into the third base once again. Byun, his splits are good. Actually, the Marauders are doing a great job here, making it really hard for Solar to make the connections, but it does not matter because the army's going to go down anyways. Ultras into that really vulnerable third base location right now. Banelings continue to roll forward. The Queens are putting pressure on the third base of Byun. That does not feel good as 12 more SCVs, they fall. This creep spread, because Byun has played so macro heavy, because he's turtled so hard. The creep spread is at the third. Solar has creeped out the entire base. Now these Ultras, they have +4 armor. Or they have 4 armor. They're not speedy boys just yet, but Solar remaxes every time. Ultras trying to get on top of things. And well, they only have 4 armor. The Marauders can somewhat fight them, but 20 SCVs still fall. Lings and Banes into the third base once again. Byun running backwards as well as he can. It's just not going to be enough. Solar dominates this map from pole to pole. He's up 2-0. So where does Byun go for this game? I think so. I mean, Solar's most likely just going to play his standard defensive setup. React to whatever Byun's doing, and, well, if he plays like the first 2 games, slap it aside. So it does feel like there is some imperative on Byun to find something. He's going to be annoying with the Marines. This is something that he occasionally does, where he says, I think I figured out your Overlord scouting pattern. And losing an Overlord this early as a Zerg is really obnoxious. It's really annoying. But he has not found the Overlords of Solar. Not at all. So these 2 Marines on the map, they're just not really going to get much of anything. Is letting scouts in the main base is going to see that, okay, there's a barracks, the factory, there's a starport. Good. It's 1-1-1 opener off of a... no, he will get an Overlord after all, but the Queen's here. They really should not be able to get this one, although no transfuse. But yeah, the Queen and the Promise of Lings means that Byun's going to be forced back. And it's going to be Widowmine drops from Byun in Game 3. Now, if this is something that Solar's not expecting, it can find tremendous damage. We saw Cure, I think, 2 years ago. Man, King of Battles 2 does not feel 2 years ago. No, King of Battles 1, excuse me, does not feel 2 years ago. But Cure was doing this and killing Zergs, slaughtering Zergs left and right. He killed, in King of Battles 1, he slew both Raynor and Cyril en route to the finals that he lost to Maru. But he was doing this. He was going Cloak to Widowmine drops into Drilling Claw drops and just widow mining the hell out of Zergs, and it was just if a Zerg does not have drones, they cannot play the game. So we're gonna have to see if this is gonna work out for Byun. Now it does almost feel like the cloaked widow mine drops are better against Zerg than they are against Protoss, because normally you just get the robo out and you're fine. You can chrono out an observer, whereas getting spores is a little bit slower. But Solar already has the read, or at least he has the 415 spore timing anyways. That kind of handles Banshees and Liberators pretty well. So there will be detection in the mineral lines in this drop, or when this drop happens. At least the main of the natural, and there we go. Okay, third base as well. So Solar is going to be well buttoned up. He's got a decent amount of Lings. He's got 11. Queens are going to be here, and they're going to find this Widowmine that's just going to look to burrow and not really getting all that much done. And the drones are going to get pulled. Widowmine burrows itself out, and it's going to get... Well, it's going to get a drone and do damage on the Queen, but this does not get anything. This gets negative damage here. And behind this, Byun has aggression on the mine. He's got 2 more barracks. Stim halfway done. I think he's going to go for another 2-base all-in. And it did work, by the way. The 2-base all-in on Data C did work against Raynor. But Byun did a similar idea in game 1, and actually there's a world where he does a Hellbat timing off this. I don't think he does, but maybe. And he's kind of posturing like he might. Solar will see the Marines and we'll see the Hellions, so at the very least, he's going to have his Queens forward. Baneling Nest is only about halfway done. The Lings on the other side of the map will force the SCVs to repair. But Lair just about done. Solar only on 55 workers. He's building more drones. He's going up to in the mid 60s. But here comes the pressure from Byun. He got Hellbat, he's got Marines, and now of course there is no stim. It's not ready just yet. But this is kind of the, I feel like who is it? I think I saw Clem doing this too, where you just kind of go for this non-committal Hellbat time. He's like, okay, I got an armory, I might as well do something, but it makes it hard for the Zerg to really do much. So it means the Zerg, they have to commit to defense in some way, which they would rather be droning, and well, it slows them down a little bit. Meanwhile, you're not really committing quite as hard, but we did see the 4th and 5th barracks go down. So beyond 5 racks here, we're gonna have to see if this is gonna work. It did not work in game 1. But Solar is also not droning. He's going up to 65 drones. Maybe even, I mean, I wouldn't mind 66, but 65 is totally fine. But he's just pumping Ling Bane behind this. His Evo chambers are done. I don't even know if he's gonna get I don't know if he gets double upgrade here. Maybe, probably just a +1 carapace. Baneling speed on the way, not done just yet. Should be red. Well, actually, I think the push from Byun might be a little bit quicker. Byun may look to hit this before his +1 is done. Try to take advantage of that timing before Baneling speed. But okay, it will be double upgrades from Solar in this game, as the Widow Mine is going to go down. And yeah, Solar's going to cancel this. He understands he's not going to be able to hold this base, but on the same metric, it does not really matter that he holds this base. Really, the 4th base, yeah, the north side base is a lot easier to hold. And Byun's got a lot of creep to work through before he really can make anything happen. And Baneling speed will be done, not quite timed out with +1, but pretty damn close. So Solar, he's got a bunch of Ling Bane on the other side of the map. He just wants to sandbag this push out as long as he can. Into the main base we will go, but Spore is doing a lot of damage on that wounded medevac. Even still, the Bio is going to be able to unload on the high ground. Queens rotate over. That's a couple very low, or a couple dangly overlords. One will fall. Drones are going to get pulled away, and the spawning pool is going to get target fired down. Solar, you need to remake that one ASAP, but we still do have, of course... Oh, there's a tank there. We still do, of course, have the Hydra Den, so at least he can build a lot of Hydras, and this 3rd base under a little bit of pressure. Now, the tank of the high ground is dealt with. Baneling's looking for that engage, and all the run-by that Solar was looking for, not really going to happen, but good surround. The tank will die here as well. Baneling's get really good connections. A lot of the Marines fall, and Solar, his supply is not incredible. It's 34 to 60, but this is pretty playable. Now, the lack of a Baneling Nest is a bit annoying, and Solar feels the need to build some more drones, but even still... Or the lack of a spawning pool, excuse me, is a problem. But even still, Solar is saving... Well, actually not saving. He's got Larva on the way, but he's got 6 Hydras on the way. And while Hydras are not the best against tanks, tank count's kind of been reset. It's only 2 tanks here as... What are mines? Oh, dropping the main base. The Lings should be able to deal with this one for the most part. As the Queen is rather low, but there we go. That is dead. Push, though, onto this base that felt it's a lot harder for Byun to push. It's so far away from his position. There's a tank on the other side of the wall, though. That's the reason we didn't see Solar try to take this at the start. Solar, his 1-1 is done. The Queens move forward. Soak and tank shots just knock these Marines down, removing the vision. Although, I mean, there's a scan. Removing a lot of the vision, removing the constant vision that Byun had on that position. Solar still be able to mine from this base, though. And he's still on 60. Nice. 69 workers. As he gets set for run by, and again, Byun not really able to... I don't know that he ever had a wall, actually, as we have a fight kicking off here on the north side as well, but Solar, he's going to try to just... Well, Byun's all in, but he's going to try to make him even more all in. So into the natural, he will go. Tank is sieged up, though, and that just means the Lings are going to kill it, guaranteed. And then they run out. Okay, fine. On the other side of the map, where are we? The Queen 1 is dead. The Hatch Queen is dead. The Hatch gets very, very low, but Lings, Banes roll forward. Good shots from the tanks, but not too many Banelings do go down. This position... Yeah, Solar... Okay, I thought he was giving it up, but he's just giving it up. You got to take a base on the bottom side. That's fine. Solar's just playing back and forth. He's just playing ping pong on the map right now. He knows Byun can make a scary pushing position at 1 spot, not at 2 spots, not really. So as long as he's able to go and just kind of bend and take it and go somewhere else, he's going to be in a fairly decent spot. There's a lot of Ling Bane on the other side of the map. Solar going for a run by and where he assumes Byun's 3rd is, but There is no third. Right, this is a 2-base all-in coming in from Byun. Right now, as Byun still on top of things, trying to knock down some of these Banelings, and will be unsuccessful. 2-2 about halfway done. His Lings now, they will find something. Perspective third base, I guess, or maybe those were... Actually, I don't think that many STVs. Yeah, not STVs. Just, I guess, got a couple of Marines there from Byun. But look how patient Solar is being. He did this in game 1. He says, yeah, I'll accept the minor damage you're doing to me because, again, you're on 2 bases. I don't really care. And he gets his 2-2, so he builds big upgrade leads. He advances the tech of his army, gets a bunch of Banes. As the Hydras are going to have to go and deal with this Liberator. It's being a bit obnoxious. And there we go. Liberator's dead. And does this buy Byun a little bit more pushing position? He says, yes, it does. Okay, now running forward once again. Byun knocks an Overlord. That's nice, but Solar thinks that he has everything that he needs to make this break happen. Ling is on top of the tanks. They're going to go down rather quickly. Hydras can't really chase off creep all that well, but Ling's Bane say, yeah, we can do that one. That's fine. With +2 melee doing more than enough, and now on the bottom side, Byun looks like he will be able to get this base, which is annoying. Again, it's a 3-base Zerg, but it's a 3-base Zerg against a 2-base Terran, so not really the end of the world. Actually, the base does not go down. Byun trying to dive on top of these Banes, but will not be able to do so, and the Hydras are fighting very well here, just barely outside of tank range. And now Byun's going to get the hatch. Okay. And to the north side they go, and this has been feeling really good for Solar, but Byun, he gets the Baneling Nest. He knocked down the spawning pool earlier, and we're starting to get this point where Solar can't get a fourth. And again, Byun is only on 2 bases. He's only 5 mineral patches in the natural, 4 in the main base, heavily muling. But if Solar can't establish a 4th base, he's going to run into larvae. Like, he is very heavily supply blocked right now. He's got a lot of gas, no minerals. His economy, he's only on 60 workers. He's traded so much worse. He's almost double resources lost for Solar here. So as much as I've been feeling that, oh yeah, you know, Solar's fine, Byun has been playing this extremely, extremely well. And now there we go. The third orbital, the third command center, Byun saying, you know, it's about time that I go and I establish a little bit more economy. I've done enough. And I don't disagree. I mean, his upgrades are horrendous. Armory is very slow, but even at 1-1 versus 2-2, he's just finding so amazing. Honestly, Byun is making J2C feel like a really strong Terran map, which hasn't really felt like that before. But he's just showing us all the terrifying tank push positions where Solar he's so much on the back foot that he just does not feel like he can take a 3rd base. Not really, but Tribal Sacrifice kind of felt like that too. It felt a little bit better for Solar, to be totally fair, but it was this game of Solar just giving inches and giving inches and giving inches until the point where he eventually was able to break his way into 3-3. But in this game, we're going to see, there we go. The tanks should just go down. Hydras target them down pretty easily. Banelings, though, not many Banelings remain, and the Hydras off creep are slow things indeed. As spores get repositioned, and Hydra speed is done. It didn't feel like that because, of course, Hydras off creep are very slow, but even still. The spore is going to be obnoxious. The Lings rotate over to the main base. Byun scans out the 4th and says, oh, no, I can't do that. There's too much there. Solar feels like he's splitting his army just a little bit better, and he did not lose any drones in that engagement. And Hive on the way as well, so eventually we will see 3-3. I think this is going to be a lurker game from Solar. He doesn't have the money to go Hydraling Bane into Ultra. Okay, Solar wants to make this happen before the tanks are truly ready, so Ling's getting on top of the 1 tank. Yeah, it's just not going to get a siege, but Byun off creep. Banelings, they're not in enough numbers to really force Byun back or to take the fight off creep, but knocking that tank down is going to be rather nice. That's what Solar's looking for. Byun wants to set up that terrifying sieged up position once again. But Solar's doing a great job of preventing that one from happening, but now the tanks, they will siege up on the other side of the wall. So Solar tries to break that one. His drop's going to be dealt with on the north side, and here we go. Solar trying to break things. 1 tank eats a lot of Banes, and that's a problem. I mean, the tanks are to kill the Banes, but even still, eating them, it's just as good. So yeah, 1 tank does fall. The second one is there. Solar is going to struggle to take this fight right now, even with the upgrade advantage that he does have, and he needs to take this fight. He cannot afford to lose this base, not anymore, but Ling is getting a great surround. And now they're going to find this tank. The tank it's dead. Solar going to try to chase the army down as much as he can. So there we go. Solar takes the best fight he's had in a while. Resources lost count continues to grow just a little bit. 8,000 in the good for Byun at this point. But adrenal glands are on the way, and more importantly, 3 Vipers. Vipers, it's kind of funny. I kind of like Vipers even if your opponent does not have tanks, even if it is just pure Marine Marauder medevac. Because you drop a couple blinding clouds on a bunch of Marines, you force them to micro out of the way, and then the Banelings get really good connections. It minimizes the DPS significantly of the Terran armies. Lings look for run by, but there's nothing there. There really is nothing there, and beyond, he's been able to set up that scary pushing position. Now, this time, with Vipers out, it's not nearly as scary as it would otherwise be. Vipers can abduct across the chasm, and then the tanks are dead, and then suddenly you can take that fight a lot easier. But the Vipers are not ready just yet as Lings run forward, force the abduct, or force the pickup there from Byun once again. And the Ultra Cavern is on the way. Okay, I didn't think that Solar had the money for this, and I still don't. But he does have that 4th base, right? He is still up 1 base on the Terran. As there we go. Abduct of this tank. It's dead. Up. Okay, got an extra shot. But it's now dead. The position from Byun's not as scary as it would otherwise be. And Byun on the bottom side, though, he does have 2-2 now. He's got 1-1 for mech, which is rather odd, but he will force a cancel on Solar's 5th base. So, 4 base Terran, kind of. This is Byun's main, so really 3 base Terran. Versus 4 base Zerg. Although from a mining perspective, I guess this is 4 base Terran, and Solar's main and natural getting pretty damn close to mining it. But Solar, he's going to move his army over a little bit, put himself in a bit better of a position to defend the 5th base. And the Hydras will not kill that. Okay. 3-3 on the way or +3 armor on the way for Solar. 3-3 on the way for Byun. He's getting double mech upgrades as well. Really, I guess he just had a glut of gas and not enough minerals. So he said, you know what, I'm going to get mech upgrades. That seems like a good idea. Ultra's on the way, though. Kindness plating only partially done. Mainlings actually get some really good connections here, but there's so many tanks. Lings get on top of them, though, and 1 tank will fall, but there's still 3 where that came from. The Vipers were not ready. Even still, Solar takes a pretty good fight. His supply is starting to get some parity here. We got to be worried about the Liberators, though. So there we go. Abduct on 1, on 2 Liberators, on 3 Liberators, on 4. So Liberators, they unsiege. Tank runs forward, but it does not have its armor, not for 5 more seconds. So Solar has to be extremely judicious with this one. On the other side of the map, Byun's got a bit more of a push, but we're going to stay focused right here, right now. The tanks are all going to siege up. Lings mains get on top of a good abducts. Oh, Solar, he breaks this pushing position. That's massive on the bottom side. Looks like Byun does not quite get what he wants. He gets some drones, sure. But I don't know that he's going to get the bag. No, it looks like he will get the base after all. Lings get on top of things. The base goes down. At least Byun gets the base somewhere. And on the other side of the map, drop here. We will see an Ultra go down. Drones are going to get pulled. Byun, if he knocks Solar down to 3 bases, I think that may just be game. But for right now, Solar rotates over. The 3rd base is dead. Yeah, Solar taps out immediately. Byun, the maestro on Data C. He takes map 3. And folks, we have a series. Huh. So, as I asked myself the question last game, and let me put a little nuance here. Again, where does Byun go? Again, the imperative is on him to do something, and while Solar did a great job defending his 2 base all-in on Tropical Sacrifice, it felt like Solar was set up to do the same on Data C. But it wasn't, in fact, because Byun was able to finally break on through. This will be a reactor expand once again coming out of Byun. He really seems to be favoring that. It feels like he just doesn't want to do Reaper expands. Now, this, of course, allows him to get his tech a little bit faster. You don't spend the gas on the Reaper, so factory, slightly faster. You get more Marines early. It maybe unlocks those Marine Hellbat timings. It unlocks a lot of early aggression that is not quite in the meta. Although, Byun, as a trendsetter, as a potential meta setter, maybe not. But anyway, Lang will show up and says, oh, okay. He's natural timing. Great. But with the Marine out, the Link's not going to be able to do all that much. And of course, we do need to point out, Solar has taken the advanced 3rd, the triangular 3rd in the forward position, which means he's going to be able to creep spread much nicer. And remember, well, Moondance feels like a campy map. And you talk to a lot of pro Zergs, it very much is a camp map. On the flip side, its rush distance is 31 seconds long. It is the shortest map in the pool. It doesn't feel like that, but it is. And we can definitely see some aggression, some value finding right there. So again, Byun, he's going to go into that 2 base all in, looks like. He's got a medevac on the way. He's going to load 7 Marines into it, like he did on Tropical Sacrifice and Data C. And even if that doesn't find all that much, it does unlock like a 4 Hellbat Marine timing that he used to knock some creep spread down on the last map. And it's one of those things where it's not super committed, but it's committed enough that it can find value if your opponent's not paying attention or not properly prepared. And the whole point about this is, Ling scouts in, is going to see, okay, there's nothing at the 3rd base. That's actually well done there, Solar. I did not expect him to be able to get a Ling in. And, well, it's just really, I think Byun was on move command with his Marines. But okay, it's going to be Banshee behind this, which I think what he did in map 1. But for now, he's going to find himself an Overlord. Maybe, probably. There we go. That Overlord is dead. We're going to have to see if he gets anything more. Solar now feeling pressured to get Lings on the map because, hey, the pressure's coming. And there we go. There's the armory as well. So it's going to be a mirror image of what he attempted to do to Raynor on map 2, I think. And map 1 on Tropical Sacrifice, where you have this Hellbat Marine time, which you also have a Banshee on the map. Which we didn't really see the Banshee do all that much. Let's see how this does go. So Byun Marines on the left side. His Hellions are not really there just yet. They're kind of sitting at home. Does not want to give Solar an inkling about what is happening. Behind this, of course, we do have 2 additional barracks. I believe this will be, once again, a 2-base LM coming out from Byun at this point. Now here come the Hellions onto the other side of the map. Armory is, of course, done. Banshee Cloak is done. Ling is actually... This is a mistake and a half here from Solar. That's not what you want. The Marines, they're going to pick up, and I don't think they got a single Marine, but it does provide Solar with some foreknotice. He knows, okay, I got to pull my Queens together. And the Hellbats, though, they're going to look to sit in this choke, try to chase down Queens as well as they can. The Spore is brought forward, but really not going to be all that much. And the high-energy Queen, it will get targeted down, but there's enough energy on other Queens to force the transfuse. That being said, Hellbats are not really dying just yet. You got to be careful with the medevac, though. So Byun doing a great job of controlling this. Has not lost a single unit just yet. And the Banshee, well, Banshee gets a couple workers. It looks like that will be the end of that one for Byun, and it's not going to be a 2-base all-on, though. It's going to be, he's going to get that third. Okay. No, okay, yeah, this is like what happened on Waterfall then. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's what was ringing the bells. It's this kind of aggressive tempo opening, but you do get a third base behind it. You do get double upgrades behind it. So, we're on 3 racks. It's going to be up to 2, 4th and 5th racks right now. Again, you get 5 racks to after the 3rd. That's totally fine. This also means that Byun is not going to have nearly as much agency on the map that he was really able to lean into Solar on map 3 and really on map 1. It was a game that Solar won. He looked damn good while doing it, but it was definitely also a game that Byun had opportunities. A stim will complete. Solar actually going Mutiling Bane, or he's going for mutas in this game, which is pretty cool. We don't get to see enough of that. We really do not get to see enough muta play in TVZ, and in my opinion at least, Mutiling Bane versus Biomine is by far the best way to consume our StarCraft. It's dynamic, it's back and forth, and it's led to some of the best games we've ever seen. But now, Byun, his Hellbat timing from earlier, I mean, it's just going to knock some creep spread down. He actually cannot run away with most of this, so what does he pick up? Probably the Marines, I would assume. Because well, actually, good splits here on the Hellbats. A lot of the Banelings go down. Byun target firing a couple of the Banelings as well, because Solar is committed pretty far off creep. But not going to be enough. 1-1 done in 10 seconds. The Hellbats go down. Not really many Marines. I think maybe 1. 2 Marines. 2 Marines have died this game. Byun's really not lost much of anything. But we got to wonder. As Byun now getting active on the map. The Spire is going to complete right around the same time that Byun's upgrades are done, and right around the time that he's getting active. This Banshee is still finding value. No, never mind. It was the second Banshee. But still, 4 workers go down. I mean, it's in the mid game. It matters a lot less, but even still. 5 mutas are on the way. We're going up to 9 Banes, which is really not a lot, and Byun has this 1-1 versus 0-0 timing. This is where life gets a little bit scary for the Zerg. Now, if you survive it, you're going to be in a great spot. The mutas can clean everything up. It makes it really hard for the Terran to run, and, well, again, it's spooky. But if Byun's going to be able to shove through here, knock the 4th base down, that is really what Solar is looking to avoid. So now the bio stims forward. Combat shield's done in 10 seconds. +1 for the tanks done as well. And Byun will see the mutas. That's the big deal. He says, okay, I know what I'm dealing with. I know the compositions. 1 muta. Oh, good transfuse there on the muta that looked like it was going to get targeted down. But I think this base is dead. It's close, and yeah, okay, Solar's just going to give that base up, but now here come the mutas, the Lings, and the Banes from multiple sides, but the mutas don't really feel like they can engage just yet. The Lings and the Banes, they're not there. 1-1 is not done for the army of Solar, so he has to give the position up. And that means that Solar is a 3-base Terran versus a 3-base Zerg, or 3-base Zerg versus a 3-base Terran. Now, luckily, he's got mutas on the map. Luckily, he can find value maybe against Byun, but Byun already has missile turrets. He has... Well, he's got 2. He's got a 3rd one on the way. Plenty of 1-1 bio. And yeah, sure, it's not the easiest position to defend. Not really. And that 1 missile turret looks like it will be denied. but Byun, he's got a tech lab on that factory. He's got Thors on the way. His 2-2 is far, far ahead of what Solar has, but Solar kind of going for a bit of a Ling Bane all in here. He's going to try to find a lot of the army on the side of the map. Byun, how good is your target fire? You got to run away into a corner. This is spooky. This is what Solar has been looking for. He's going to force a lift up. One medevac so damn low. Byun trying to target fire as many mutas as he can, but I don't think it's all that many. Yeah, he got 2 mutas. And still plenty of Marines or plenty of Banelings on the field. There's a moment right now as this medevac will fall where Solar can sweep the map and push, at least force the lift off on the 4th. But it looks like Solar says, you know, I want my 5th base, I want my 2-2, I want my upgrades. At least I've forced you back, Byun. At least I've denied you pressure. But Byun was really caught sleeping on the map right there. He did not have enough army to deal with the full might of the Zerg Swarm. He paid for it heavily. Okay, we're at 1 Thor right now. Magic number's 3. 3 Thors, 1-shot mutas, assuming equal upgrades. That's when it becomes rather scary for Solar to really engage into the main clump of Byun's army. But Solar pretty close to max out. Once again, these mutas are... The Marines are getting annoying, trying to knock down creep as much as they can, but they're not going to be able to get all that much done. As Byun, his 3-3 is on the way. That's kind of the big thing he's got going for him. That he is on 4 bases, even if his worker count is not insane. He's only on 67. But he's been able to equalize the army count once again. His 3-3 is halfway done. And once you get to 2-3 Thors, it is kind of scary. Although no drilling claws on these widow mines that he continues to make. He does have the tech for it, so I kind of would like to see him do it. But not quite there just yet. Thors, though, on the other side of the map. They're going to force these mutas back with the missile turrets as well. Byun's running into the situation now. It's just really hard for him to push. Every time he shows out on the map, he's going to have mutas in his base, links in his base. And the creep is so far forward. Because Byun did lose agency. When he lost that army on the middle of the map, he lost so much agency, and that meant Solar could spread creep really with impunity for a solid minute and a half. And that's a lot of creep that a Zerg can spread. But I guess really the timing that Byun's going to be looking for is when his 3-3 is done. That is the traditional timing. That is just the traditional kill timing. With Biomine, or Biomine Thor versus Mutiling Bane. You have 3-3, they have 2-2, and it just becomes rather scary indeed. So mutas around the dead airspace. There's only 1 missile turret in the natural, only 1 missile turret per base. That being said, we're only on 16 mutas. We're not like the 23, 24 battle mutas where things get really scary. And the missile turret is being repaired pretty well, but it will go down at the end of the day. And that means this base is pretty much, it's free. All the SCVs will go down, but on the other side of the map, this drop is finding a lot of value for Byun. So we're going to have to see who's going to take the advantageous trade here. Oh, Byun gets the base as well. Now it's a 4-base, well, I guess 5-base Zerg versus a 4-base Terran as the mutas, they float on over, take advantage of the dead airspace, but there are plenty more missile turrets where that came from. So many of these mutas are going down, at least taking significant value. Another muta dies. Yes, 15 SCVs have died, but a base is dead for Solar. He lost a bunch of drones as well, and he's going to kill the base again. Byun, not going to kill the base. Okay, the mutas are going to be able to knock this drop down. No boost. The Marines get dropped down, but yeah, there we go. It's too low. So Byun, he does not really get out with that one, but he's maxed out. And his 3-3 is done in 10 seconds, or I guess 15 seconds, something like that. His armor is a little bit slower. At the end of the day, yeah, that kind of sucked for Byun, but it also kind of sucked for Solar. So Byun feels a little bit more free on the map right now, because while he did take damage from those mutas, he's been able to force them back with his drop. And this army that Byun has right now, with 3-3, with Thors, with 1-1 on the Thors, with these Widow Mines as well, it's a damn hard army for Solar to fight. Of course, on creep, that makes it a lot less complicated, but even still, Byun, if he's got one thing, he's got mechanics. So Banelings run forward to start, but the Marauders, they're just there. They say, yeah, Banelings, you get slowed, you get killed. Bye-bye. Not going to work out. 14 Banelings remain on the map again. This base will be denied. Byun's not going to allow Solar to take that one. His Ling's Banes come rolling on forward. Thors serving as the damn big wall, and they just do not take much damage from these Banelings whatsoever. Meanwhile, this drop on the other side of the map looks like it has been dealt with by the mutas for the most part. The Marines still trading pretty well. Mutas trying to force Byun back, but he's going to deal with it with his reinforcements. Marines are here with 3-3. The mutas, they have +2, but they do not have any carapace, so they still die pretty much as easily as anything else. But it still looks like it's not going to be enough Marines right now. Widowmine not burrowed up, and actually they're not going to, well, one shot? No, okay, no, not really. So these mutas are doing so much here. The Marauders are, well, they were trying to bait the Widow Mines, and they're not going to be able to get that much done. Widow Mine, though, there we go. That's a pretty low set of mutas, and Byun forced to back up. He denied the 5th base of, or the 6th base of Solar, but he did take damage on the other side of the map. Of course, as a Terran hits 3-3 and hits 5 bases, they don't really want to be on 70 workers anymore. They really want to be at around maybe even below 50, 45, 50. They just need to be mining gas. Mules, pretty much once you start to hit heavy, we're only on three orbitals right now, but once you start to get to 4 to 5 and start to get those extra orbitals, you really do not, mules take all your mineral income. It really is just, you want everything for gas. There's a Byun killing off a lot of these links, but it will buy time for the mutas to arrive. Even still, a lot of the mutas are dying. Great target fire here from Byun. He's going to get, not everything, he's going to get a lot of that army, as that was so many mutas going down. 17 mutas have died in this game, is now the army of Solar running forward. Byun's supply not really all that enticing, and this Thor needs to get saved. Looks like it's just going to go down as 3-3 done in 10 seconds. The 5th base of Byun will be forced to run away. And by the way, Byun does not have ghosts. The Ghost Academy only just halfway done right now, as we will see that missile turret go down. So Solar forces Byun back into his position. And as problematic as losing that left side base has been for Solar, he's still on 5 bases. He's still on 88 workers. He still has a significant bank. He still has 3-3. And his resources lost at plus 4K is really not all that bad for a Mutiling Bane game. But Byun will max out once again. He will be able to establish that 5th base now. He's not quite as aggressive on the map as Widowmine. Drones? No, it's not going to get anything. Okay. Maybe this Widowmine gets something eventually. As random Widowmines on the map and TVZ. Killing far more than they ever should. Name a more iconic duo. I don't know of one. The 5th base planetary is ready. That being said, there's not a lot from Byun on the bottom side. His planetary, or his sensor tower was killed earlier and not dealt with. So with Lingbane Ultra, this is going to be a dead planetary if Byun does not react to it in time. SCVs are just getting pulled away, but now they're going to go look for the repair. Widowmines look to burrow on top. Yeah, there's the dead base. But Byun's just going to try to get as much as he can. One Ultra will fall immediately. Okay, we do have kiting splitting, but I mean, when you just have that much army, the Ultra does die. And man, pathing here is not going to be Solar's friend. He's going to lose another Ultra. Now, of course, his bank is fantastic. His bank is incredible. So from that perspective, I mean, he just needs time to remax. These mutas are finding so much value. Byun, it feels like, yeah, he's got that 5th, but it really is only his 4th now. It feels like he has to get so much damage done with this push. The Banelings come rolling on forward, but not a ton. It's a ton of Marauders. It is so many Marauders on the map, 18 of them. It's so hard for the Banelings to make the connections that they want. Even still, more Banelings on the way, 22 of them. Solar taking fights in waves and waves and waves, as there are just not a lot of Thors. And there we go. That Thor is dead, so the mutas can take fights much, much, much better. With that +2, the battle mutas that they are, they're going to just get, ideally, they just get on top of the Marauders, kill them all off. Lings Banes, they come rolling forward. Once again, good friendly fire there from Solar. From the Widowmines means he's going to knock down the rest of these Thors, and Byun has to pick up. He's got to go home. Solar remaxes rather quickly. Byun stuck at 150 supplies. The mutas, the Lings, the Banes, they go on the other side of the map, and ideally, they camp under where Byun wants to unload. He does not allow them to go out with impunity. Friendly fire on the Widowmines once again. Banelings, mutas, everything that Solar has looking to chase Byun to the ends of the earth with the Widowmines. Yeah, they connect on an Ultra, but it does not really seem to matter. Ultras, they have just so much HP that even if it is spell damage, it does not matter. The HP sting the Ultras are just too impressive. As now the Orbital starting to take significant damage here. Byun has to get on top of this. He's got to keep it alive, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. Widowmine still get a good trade, but Byun is going to lose the Orbital. Now he's only on 2 Orbital. He's got a planetary on the upper right side. But Solar, he's got so much money. 90 drones, he's got a bank. Byun barely mining. And this game has been back and forth the entire time, but Solar, he's been able to greed it out. He's been able to stay alive, been able to deflect the attacks, get just enough damage done with the mutas whenever Byun gets truly aggressive that, yeah, well, he loses a hatch here or there. It does not seem to matter at the end of the day, as now 23 mutas. +3 attacks just about ready. I think Solar loses the space, but I don't really think it matters all that much. And Bailey's connect on top of anything anyways, so yes, it would be, I don't even know if the Solar loses the base anymore. Mutas, by the way, on the planetary. They knocked the missile turret down to start. Now this is just going to be a dead planetary. 11 STVs as well. Solar can run away with this game, with this series. He's as good as Byun looked. Solar looked so much better. Folks, the sun is back, and he looks dominant.